And this is the need to know. So, guys, we have two wonderful ladies on the show today. I've been watching their podcast for a couple months now, and I just super excited to have them. So, I'm going to let them do the talking and introduce themselves.
And I'm McCree, the one and only. Any others are counterfeit, so check your pockets. And this is We Are First American Nigerian Generation.
So, tell us a little bit about the podcast and kind of like why you started it and what you aim for in the future for it.
It's kind of funny because when we planned this whole podcast, we were actually on a car ride on our way to a fake Nigerian wedding. And it's crazy because when we look back on it now, it's like, wow, that was like over a year ago. And it's like, look at how far we've come so far. But basically, the First American Nigerian Generation podcast, it started because we are first generation Nigerian Americans. And our parents, they were immigrants. They came to this country and they wanted us to. And we did that, we got the degree, we made them happy. And ever since the pandemic happened, it's kind of like slow rolled a lot of our plans. So we kind of got into more of our creative side. We got into more of our side hustles to see what we're interested in. And through doing that, we decided to start the podcast as a way to market ourselves, to get more into like the creative area and just to meet like-minded individuals and, get ourselves up there like we all want to, because we all have goals, we all have dreams. And
She said it all. Just to add, she said it all. But just to add on to it, it's also like we're sharing our experiences as being first gen. And a lot of us, I feel like in our generation could agree our experience is different from our parents because we're intertwining American culture with our family's culture, which could either be Caribbean, Nigerian, and it kind of like it's this weird mix. So we're also sharing those experiences with other people because we're more alike than we're unlike. My Angela said that. But yeah,
I definitely do like what you guys have been doing because it kind of goes into what we do on the show, and we kind of like we talk about those taboo conversations that it's kind of hard to talk about like with our parents or with anyone because it's either we think that it's not relatable, but in reality we all kind of intertwine in some type of way.
mm-hmm.
So, it's better to talk about it than to not talk about it at all.
True.
So today we're going to do 3 topics, like I said earlier, and I kind of want to know where you guys want to start the conversation. So just so you know, I come real direct and I go real spicy real quick. So if I go left, don't be too like, we can do whichever one you like first. I have questions for everything. So whichever one you like first.
I think this is your show. You do what you want.
I guess we could start with submissive women.
Okay, I feel like you always do the topic that like want to start with that topic. Okay, cool, no problem. So boom. I feel like this is always a controversial topic. Always, especially in social media, especially right now. Like everyone's talking about submissive women. Like what some people talk about submissive women is one thing, especially when they're married, especially in a relationship. But it's like, do you really think a submissive woman is? Because I would think submissive more goes towards the bedroom and not towards the actual things that you do outside. That's how I feel about being submissive. But what are the things that you've heard in social media that makes women in particular submissive?
I feel like when they say submissive on social media, they're saying like you need to be basically on his wrist at all times. Like everything he says goes. You have no say. It really kind of downplaying the role of women a little bit. Because I think there needs to be balance when it comes to submissive and dominance outside of the bedroom. Because, where you're strong, I might be weak at. What I'm strong at, you might be weak at. There got to be a balance. But I think social media just telling us, be like, yes, daddy.
Definitely. Social media, it makes it it makes you think that being submissive or submissiveness is like wrong. It's a no-no because no one wants to be treated as less than, if you think highly of yourself, how could you ever bow down to a man? And it's like, that's not really it. That's what social media portrays, but there's really levels to it. There's more to it. And it depends on everyone's relationship. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like social media kind of took away because the natural term of like dominant and submissive was like a man being a leader in his home, whereas like a submissive person was somebody who follows, but like social media kind of twisted it to where like being a follower is wrong or weak. Whereas on Instagram, or I mean, even in society, like being submissive is not only a female role. Like men could be submissive in certain areas as well. Like if you submit, like say for example, you might come across in your relationship where there's a certain time where you just can't pay for something and she pays for it. That's not you being a weak man. It's just in that moment you needed to submit to someone who could fill that role at that particular moment. So I feel like social media kind of twists the notion that a submissive man is wrong or a submissive woman is weak, when in reality, like both people can't be dominant and both people can't be submissive. So there has to be a role played in some parts or in some areas.
I like you.
That sense. And it really is just a balance. It's a balance between the two, because like he said, one person can't always be dominant, one person can't always be submissive. Like we're all going to have our moments where we're not living up to our full capacity. So your other partner is going to have to take that role while you take a step back, because you love them, you trust them, and you know that they're going to lead just as well as you can.
I think a good example of, and I've seen this couple on social media, I can't remember their names, but they are very much, I see the dominant and the submissive in terms of her being submissive to her partner and vice versa. I do see the vice versa. I do see how he's submissive to her as well. And I think that social media is a big part of what we get, how we get misleaded, like we're all, like we keep saying, because it's just like, why we should want to be submissive to our partner, but then it's like we also should want our partner to be submissive to us, because there's things that we each cater to more than the other. So it's like, I would want to be submissive to my man if I know that you're going to take care of home, and vice versa. If I'm going to take care of home, if you're paying or you're doing this, that, and the third, I need to do my part as well. But it could be vice versa. I could be paying the bills, or I could be taking care of this. And I think that should be known. Like that should be something that you communicate in your relationship. But I also feel that two people can be submissive or two people can be dominant in the same relationship. I do think it would work.
How's that gonna work?
Ways. It can't be like in like the same, I don't know, like in the bedroom, yeah, and like in everyday life, yeah, one person is dominant in the bedroom, but they're more submissive in like their everyday life. I could see that, but how can explain?
Yeah, like how that work?
I think it's because there's always gonna be moments where two people are dominant or two people are submissive. So it's like, I do see where you're saying in terms of, in the bedroom or in real life or like in life situations, but it could also be in life situations, because if you guys find that balance that we're looking for, that everybody's looking for, like that partnership begins to become dominant in both ways. I have seen it, and I do think that it works. It just depends on the person. That depends on the person. Like, it's something I was talking about earlier too. Like, do you want to be independent, or do you want someone to take care of you? Or do you want to build something together, or do you want someone to take control of it? Shamar, I see you thinking over there.
No, I agree with what you're saying, because it's, at first I was like, but in a sense, it's like you can be two dominant people, like just in general, but in your relationship, like you submit to your person. So I understand that point as well.
Okay, I get it now. I understand where you're coming from. Because at first I was not seeing that working.
It can be war. I feel like it's more so if you're talking about, I feel, personality, because everybody's like, you can have a dominant personality, but then you could be submissive. So then it's really your role and and the kind of person that you are, I feel, in that situation.
I was saying I'm just a person that needs both. I need in all aspects, in the bedroom and outside of the bedroom. Like sometimes I need to be in that dominant role, but I also have a dominant personality. But in the bedroom, I need both. Sometimes I like to take the.
I feel like in the bedroom you have to pick and choose where you are. and what you want. Because it's like if you have someone that just wants to lead, it's like, what am I supposed to do? Can't just lay here. Like,
yes, you can. We could pillow princess.
Pillow princess, yeah, but at the same time, you also want to assert that control. You want to do your own as well. You don't.
I've learned that some women don't like it.
Yeah, no,
some
it's
women
true.
don't like it. Shema, you ever dealt with women that don't like it?
Nah, I think it's usually it's kind of like a if or ain't, like it's like you're either dominant or you're not. Like you're just completely submissive, which to me is it's fine. But like
how does that
sometimes
work? Like, where do you get your pleasure? Like, everybody has to please each other.
right. I mean, so, like that's why I was like, for me, it just don't work. Like I like dominance in the bedroom sometimes. Like I kind of like the flip of the coin, because for me, it's like if I'm the person that's always leading, like it's like okay, but then after a while, it gets like,
It's
you
boring.
know, like you want the other person to initiate, but at the same time, like you don't want the other person initiating all the time. Like you want to do it sometimes as well, because you may have certain ideas or certain things that you want to do. So it goes both ways. But to have like one person doing the same thing over and over, like eventually you want something else. So, but I don't think I've ever met somebody that doesn't do both.
You know, there's people out there that just like to lead. That's not a good.
There is, and they drive me fucking nuts.
That's not a good encounter in the bedroom. It's really not. That's just a bad person.
To know how to lead, but you also need to know how to follow and take direction and just be in your own princess state for a second. Just a second.
Just a second.
No, yeah. There's a time and a place. Like you have to, like you say, it's also when you learn each other. If you just meet somebody, it don't work. You have to learn each other to know who is more dominant in the bed.
That's why we only want one man. One. But the one you want always fucking up. Because it's true, you're right. I like being adventurous for one person, but that one person, where they at?
That one person never wants to be the one person.
No, they want to be fucking Megan, Tyler, Tiffany, everybody. Why not just Mercury? Mercury is enough.
No, that's so true, and it's you don't want to keep having to deal with someone else, and that's what makes the dominance and the submissiveness in the bed not work. So just like, oh, well, I'm gonna lead this, and clearly, if you don't want this, it's not gonna continuously grow. Because once you learn someone's body, that's just the best experience you could ever have.
Best sex ever. Ever. Because they know what you like.
Every day, every single time. I'm not trying to learn a new person, a new body, new this, a new that. Just one and done. One and done.
Yeah.
Just having a man.
Right. It's so many things out there. Like, honestly, like I said, ideally with one person would be the best, but you know, we all live a life, we all have a past, we all like them with other people, but it's like you still want to try new things. You open to it.
Yes. Well, one person. No, I understand. I definitely understand, because that one person you want to try the crazy things with.
Yeah, that way it's not too crazy. Not everybody can say they experience
it's crazy, but not too crazy.
Yeah.
Because that next person, if you say something like that, they'll be like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know this is what. Like, I didn't know this is what, this was. Like, I didn't know we was getting that crazy in the bed. Like, so what do you thought this was? Like, we're not trying.
Well, some niggas are vanilla. Just a vanilla.
I've experienced that.
Vanilla? Give me this
like they're just plain. I'm like, damn. So while we still talking about, well, we could get into body count then. Okay. This is my controversial question I like to ask people. I feel like this really goes for men, but do you ask people how many people they sleep with?
No, because it's none of my damn business.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I do.
It's a yes and no. Yes, because health is important, and I do need to know where you've been. But no, as in like I know everyone has a past. Like I really don't care how many people you done been with in the past. But at the same time, like I said, health is important. I need to make sure that A, B, C, and D is good with you, because if we're gonna, get into some things together, I'm protecting myself at all costs. And I'm also protecting you by making sure I'm protected. So I would hope and pray that is reciprocated. You know?
I agree.
I hear you, cuz, but I don't think that has anything to do with health. I think health is definitely different from body count, because somebody can have 2 bodies and have caught an STD. I think
that's what I'm saying. It don't matter how many.
Your body count don't really matter. I'm saying for because you said yes for the body count. I think more of if you got a disease, then you got a disease. Your body count don't really matter.
But when I say yes, as in you sexually active with other people, or
I need to know if you're sexually active with other people.
Yeah,
that I can understand. Mm-hmm. I agree with that part. Because who else you fucking but me?
Should be nobody.
That's my man.
Yes, that is something.
I want my man. I want my man.
If it's not my man, you can go. Okay, I ain't gonna be mad. I definitely think that part needs to be discussed though. If you're gonna be having sex with me and other people, that your current body intake for the time that we're having sex needs to be discussed. And I need to know if you're doing it raw or if you're protected. That I understand. But if I wanted to ask you, when you lost your virginity, how many people have sex since then? I don't need to know that. Because then you start to people look at people different when you start saying stuff like that. Because everybody have their judgmental numbers.
It is. And why should it matter? Because I'm a female versus a man, because a man can do the same thing a woman can, and a woman can do the same thing a man
can. Don't say that now. The men are going to come first. They're going to say we're not equal. They say we can't do what men do.
I really do tell men that, though. I be like, just because you do it doesn't mean I can't do it, and vice versa. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to sleep with Sally, Polly, and whoever, I could sleep with Sam and whoever I want to. It should be the same thing. It shouldn't be a problem. And
there is a problem. They are not having that.
It's a problem because when we say that we can't do it, they really think that that's what we're trying to do. And it's not everybody is doing it. Just understand we can do it too.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I definitely understand that. But also, when you're dating, you don't have to just be dating me. I already know you're probably dating somebody else. So that's why I always keep that open mind. All right, cool, you probably dating somebody else. But if it's going to be me and you at the end of the day, then you got to let me know, are you sleeping with somebody else?
Dating is so hard.
Nah, that's really, really dating, though. That's really dating. Because if I want to date 2 people, I need to know that either I like this person or I don't.
That's true, because you need options. I can't just put my all into one person. And I don't expect someone else to put their all into one person, especially off bat, It's different if okay, now we're trying to go together, exclusively, that's different. But everybody dating other people.
That's dating. I feel like at this day and age, we were taught that dating is just one person at a time. But dating is multiple people at a time, so that we can see our options. What if I don't like Bill? What if I like...
You see, we fucked up the game because we're not just dating. We're dating and fucking. We confused. We are not just dating anybody. We are
exactly. All the stages is getting intertwined. There's the talking stage, the dating, and then the fucking, and it's all situation.
Girl, people be fucking in the talking stage. They're gonna be fucking throughout the whole process. It's confusing.
Very true.
They be fucking before they start talking.
Exactly. Exactly. So how do I know where I stand at?
That's what
honestly, I'm gonna just start dating.
You gotta let people know what it is that you want, what it is that you expect, and they can make their decision off of that. And if you're not with it, then it's cool. On to the next. But if you are, then let's have a good time, while we're gonna enjoy each other's company.
It's definitely communication, because you'll find that men will just be like, oh, I'm just looking for X, Y, and Z off the rip. And it's if that's the case, then you either, you talk to them or you don't. That is why those stages keep getting mixed up, because it's oh, now we having sex. All of a sudden, I start liking you. Why did you like me? We don't talk. We don't have a conversation.
Why did you like me?
You don't know nothing about me, so you can't like me. You can't like me. You don't know nothing about me. And that be the problem. That be the problem. It's the sex.
Good pussy.
Your soul tying.
Yeah, man.
You're getting intertwined. Your souls are intertwining with each other. People have to remember that. Sex
Do you
is
believe
dangerous.
soul ties?
I do.
I do too.
It's serious. That's a
Worst
serious
entanglement
thing.
ever. I'm sorry. My cat almost bit me.
A cat? I'm crying.
No, that's stuff is serious. You believe in soul ties?
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, like,
to a certain degree. What's the degree?
What's the degree?
Like, I believe that you have one person, but to me, it's kind of like, okay, but people die every day, so it's like if your soulmate died, that means you don't like get to love anymore. Like, to me, it's like I feel like you have multiple people that you can connect with. There's just one person that might fit you the best, but that doesn't mean like you don't have anybody else that could be that soul tie for you.
I agree with you. You can have more than one soulmate.
I agree. Yeah. So we're all in different stages in our lives, and we meet people, we encounter different people at different stages in our lives. So my soulmate when I was 21 compared to my soulmate when I'm 35 might not be the same person, because I'm in two different stages in my life. I want different things. I'm attracted to different things.
I believe in soulmates for every kind of relationship.
Like best friends, like friendships,
yes.
Cousins.
Yes, I believe in soulmates for everything, because it's true. Like, there's always one person that you're going to connect with on a higher capacity in every type of relationship. So it's like when you have kids, like that's literally going to be the love of your life, like your child, that especially that first child. So I feel like it's everything is going to heighten your emotions, or somebody's going to get you to spark that capacity at some level.
Yeah, no, you're right. I have soul ties. I said soul ties. I have soulmates. And there's a little entanglement over here.
Soul ties is very serious. Very serious. That's why it's like you have to understand who you have sex with and who you having sex with unprotected. Like, that is also when you experience soul ties. Like, that is when you truly experience a soul tie.
I was gonna say that earlier. Like, in terms of the body count, I don't really care about the number, but I feel like it is a question to ask, mainly because like because of like health, complications. Like, I don't know what you got. And two, like, to me, it's like it's different when, like, okay, you say you have 5, like, okay, you had 5 people that you slept with, whether a one night stand or whatever. But like, if you like the age of 19 and you say you got like 85, to me, it's like I'm not judging you, but like I am looking
at you. What if she's a porn star?
What if she's a porn star?
Nah.
That's a paid gig.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause like it's like you don't mean to be judgmental, but like the back of your mind does like start to like question things, or just look at it a little bit different. Like, if you 19, you got 85, like I'm not going to like stop speaking to you necessarily, but like the back of my mind would be like, well, how did it get to 85 like that fast?
You're about to be 86.
Like, nah, that's crazy.
No, that I don't think it should matter. Like, because it's like you're always gonna meet somebody that has more than you or less than you.
Right.
Because if somebody really, like, I've had someone tell me that I didn't ask, I didn't really care, and it's just like they told me, and I was just like, okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, I have a little bit more than you, and it's just like, okay, that don't mean nothing. Yeah. Like, it doesn't change. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't change.
It doesn't change who you are.
How I feel about it. Yeah. It shouldn't change. It shouldn't change how I look at you. Like, I just feel it. That just means that, okay, maybe you know what you're doing and maybe you don't. That's also what it is. Like, it's either you know what you're doing or you don't. Because you could have slept with 10 people and those 10 people didn't do nothing for you, didn't learn nothing. You're still doing the same thing with that 11th person and you still didn't know anything. And then that 12th, 15th, maybe the first person showed you everything in the world. Like, and then that second person, you experience more. It really just depends on like how you go about that. But I feel like it shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, been there, done that. It's over. I'm not going back to them. We're not doing that anymore. And it's like
in a cycle.
it's just like I can't, like, that's why I say, like, when girls be like, oh, like I have them now. I was like, yeah, okay, I had them before. It's I experienced that. You're experiencing that person now. Like that's something that is two different experiences. So it's like, are you better or are you worse at that point? I would want you to be better if you sleep with me again at that point. But like, like you gotta get better. Like you can't get worse.
You should have learned something by now.
And I feel like women are really good teachers when it comes to in the bedroom. So it's like, what didn't you learn at that point?
See, I'll be saying that because I'm like, when it comes to men, like, unless we have like sex naturally, the only place we're gonna go to is because we're not talking this about our mothers, but the only place we're gonna go to is our fathers, who for most of us wasn't there, or we're gonna revert to porn because it's like that's the access to
My
sex.
gosh, don't
But
watch
it's like,
porn. Oh my gosh.
but it's like we watch it for pleasure, but like in terms of teaching, like all of that is fake. Like they're paid
Yes.
actors and trained to do that for like an hour. But it's like realistically speaking, you're not lasting an hour. So like I feel like the more men have like organic sex, like the better they'll become just because they'll learn. Like not saying you'll learn from one person because you probably take little pieces from everybody, but I think that's the best teacher. Like
I
because
think
you're
you
not
just
gonna learn
learn
yours.
the person you're having sex
That's
with.
true.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn the person you're having sex with, because what Tiffany might like, I might not like. Don't do me like you do Tiffany. Okay? I think I like asking, for me personally, when it comes to my sex partners, I like to ask, like, what is it that you like? Teach me what you like. Because I may not have never did it. I don't know what you like. Teach me. Because then you can enjoy this. And I'll tell you what I like.
Those first 3 times is a learning experience. That's your curve.
Exactly.
The first 3 times learning experience.
First time, it just happens. Okay, I'll see if I like what you do, if you like what I do, and then we talk about
the tension is there.
Spontaneous. Exactly. By the second time, we kind of let loose. Okay, if I don't like something, I'm gonna let you know, and hopefully by the third time, you kind of picked up on some cues to see what works. Whatever. Yeah. And then by then, we either good, or if not, it is what it is.
It is what it is. We're gonna keep trying here. Because if I don't like it, but I like you, we're gonna make it work. Okay? Maybe introduce some things.
No, yes. And those first 3 times should be like the initial thing. But after that, if it's still not working out after that third time, you gotta either make it work. You have to make it work if you really like the person, like you said. Because if I really like you and I want to get with you, like if I'm gonna build with you, like we gotta make this work. We can't not have good sex. Like this is not gonna work out. Like that's healthy in a relationship. Like you need to have that you have to have that bond and bonded well.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be the bond for me. Like those times y'all spending together, just being in each other's presence, that is non-intimate. It's a turn on. It's a turn on just spending time with that person, getting to know them, just liking little things that they do. Shoot, you be wet before you get home. But nah.
You can enjoy
Men don't know how to talk to women no more.
Also in like a nice little intimate setting. And it's like, okay, I actually do fuck with this person. That makes the sex even better.
Yeah. Wait a couple of weeks. It makes it that too. You gotta wait a couple of weeks.
Delayed
gratification. If I like you and you look at me a certain way, I'm like, leave me alone. Stop looking at me. Because the way you're looking at me right now, you're gonna start something you can't finish. Okay? Little things, man.
So that goes perfectly into that next topic, which is the gender roles in sex. Well, during sex, I should say.
There's gender roles in sex?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Because, gender roles, obviously you think of a guy as assertive, as on top, as taking control, as initiative, and then you probably would think of the girl as, pillow princess, or just receiving, just being there to receive. And like we said before, it's not always like that. Like, it's a balance. People like to switch it around.
Yes. I feel like I said earlier, I think Shamar said this too, like you gotta flip the coin. Something about the coin. What did you say? Yes, I
Yeah,
was
like you gotta like sometimes you'll be the dominant one and sometimes you'll be the submissive one. Yeah.
I I I like it to be both. Like we gotta play it out. We gotta play it out. There's times where you want to be the dominant one and you just want that person to take it. Like, and that's cool. Like that should be that should be okay. Like that should be okay. Like you shouldn't want to do anything back. You should just take it. Like I think that that's perfect, but some people don't like that.
Because there's so many different roles in sex. It's kind of funny that we put this up. Dami, you remember I sent you a test to take?
Yes, I did. So many
I did.
questions.
I sent the test. I was like, take it. And basically, based on your answers, it would tell you like the percentage of the different type of sex roles that you encounter. So me, I'm like 100% a switch. I need a balance. I need to be dominant and submissive. A switch. After that, I got what is this shit called? Being tied up and being experimentalist is like my top three.
No, I don't mind experimenting either. It's just more so what is it that you want me to do or what do I have to do, like, and vice versa.
Are you sure you're really an experimentalist? You probably like 50%. Because an experimentalist.
No, I'm not all the way there. I'm not all the way there, but I'm like in the middle. Like certain things, like I don't like the whole tie up thing. I don't like that. I've never liked that. That's weird. It's weird.
Why it gotta be weird? I like it.
I don't like to be like yeah.
There was this one fetish I remember hearing about. It was the diaper fetish, where basically this guy, he likes to wear diapers. He likes for his partner to change him, to feed him with a bottle, to baby him. Like,
yeah, that's that boy girl play.
Yeah, being babied and receiving that, satisfaction of someone taking care of you, it did it for him.
That's crazy. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that people like, and I'll be like, wow, that's interesting.
I wonder where that stemmed from. Because I'll be thinking about it sometimes.
Yeah, like where is that?
So I'm thinking like, I wonder where that could have stemmed from. Like,
people have weird things. So I found a list of all the roles. Well, some of the roles in sex. So there's, of course, dominant, submissive. There's a sadist. I am a sadist. There's a massagist. That's the person that likes to receive the pain. There's rigger, that people that like to tie the person up. There's the rope bunny, the people who like to get tied up. There's the master mistress. Of course, with a master mistress, you have the slave. Then you have the grader. Then you have the grady. So the grader would probably be the person doing the peeing. The grady would be the person being peed on. Then you have owner and pet. You have a brat tamer. Yeah, you have a brat tamer and you have a brat. I'm also a brat. A brat is basically like they trying to be dominant, but they know they're really not dominant. They just like to play the little fight to just so the tamer could come put them in their place. Because sometimes being put in your place turns you on. Mm-hmm. There's primal, so there's the hunter, there's the prey. And then these are the ones I find weird. There's daddy, mommy, boy, girl. There's the age player. So like the person who likes to wear diapers and act like a child and be taken care of like a child, it would be an age player. There's the exhibitionist. That's people who like taking pictures and videos of their body. I'm one of them too. There's a voyeur. People who like watching sexual activities of other people. Experimentalist, non-monogamous, all men. All men are non-monogamous. All men are non-monogamous. Okay, don't let them lie to you. They do not believe in monogamy. Okay, there's the switch, and then there's vanilla.
Okay, yes, I want to take it.
Don't make a login and just do the long version.
The long version.
Yeah, no login, long version.
Oh man, it's about to be taking the test.
And if you want to take it up a couple notch, whoever your current partner is, or if you're fucking and recycling your niggas or bitches or women or men, have them take the test and then compare your numbers. It starts to make sense, to be honest. You're like, oh yeah, it can make sense why this thing clicked well. Because what people like in the bedroom kind of also intertwines with their personality. So it will make like if things are not linking up mentally in your head, like just looking at that test, it'll be like, okay, it could make sense. Because if you're completely dominant and you're like 100% dominant, you're not into submissiveness, then you don't know how to take turns. It says a lot. I'm sorry. It says a lot.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm definitely gonna take it and make the other person take it too. Yeah, take it together.
Shamar, you should do it too.
No, I'm gonna try it. I'll try it with me and my partner.
Exactly. This is gonna be fun. I've been saying it.
Oh my gosh. No, okay. So I want you guys to tell us a little bit more about the podcast, and then just whatever you have, where to find you guys, and then anything else you want to say, also on your social media.
Well, yeah, you guys can check out our podcast, the Fang Podcast. We're on Instagram and TikTok at the Fang Podcast, as well as YouTube, the Fang Podcast. We have over 40 episodes now. We're about to start season 5, right? 5, right? Yeah, season 5.
Season 5.
Yep, it's gonna be a good summer. Hopefully you guys gonna tune into the season. But I'm Rebecca, that Queen Beck on Instagram and all of my socials. And I do just want to say thank you for having us. Like, this is fun.
And I'm McCree, the one and only. Any others kind of fit again, so check your pockets. And you can follow me at its_Mukri, and that's on all platforms. Okay. Like she said, season 5 is coming up. This summer is gonna be lit. Okay, I need paint and powder being thrown on me. Invite me to the functions. I am outside with no behavior because I'm a single woman.
So let me say mine. So you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Re the Host. And then also make sure you follow Wonderful Shows page. It's TNTK on Instagram, Twitter, and of course TikTok. Make sure you follow TikTok, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And
and you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter and I'm not gonna do it. Just Instagram and Twitter at _we want more. Thank you for watching
the show.
That's all you need to know.